Como estas, bitches? El Crapgamer here with another video. Thank you guys for checking it out. I appreciate it. You know, this generation, who knows? I mean, obviously we could be in this generation for a while, but with that being said, I just wanted to say that to see developers come out and stick up for Xbox Scorpio, especially knowing that dev kits have mostly been sent out and most people know what's going on as far as the power is concerned. And then for some devs to say, like this particular one on this Gaming Bolt article, he says that, you know, it's too early to judge performance versus quality when it comes to Xbox Scorpio and PS4 Pro. Really? Too early to judge performance versus quality? I mean, look, I get that the PS4 or Sony in general happens to have a lot of fans in the industry. You know, I've actually talked with some media, and I get it, right? Sony caters to that holy grail of just strictly console gaming. They put, you know, their handful of mainstream AAA exclusives only on their console for now. And, you know, the media grew up with them. The PlayStation 1 came out. I mean, it's just how it is. Like, Nintendo gets the same free pass as Sony does. Whether or not you want to believe in media bias or not, that's not really a concern. That's fine. I don't care. Most people have been awoken to that a long time ago. But what's interesting is that these developers are still trying to push this whole narrative of, is the PS4 Pro just a little bit less powerful than the Xbox Scorpio? And from what I understand, it's not even close, but you still have developers like this guy, and he does, let's see what his name is. This is what this article says, right? The Xbox One, Scorpio, and PlayStation 4 Pro each add and augment their respective consoles in the middle of the generation, but they approach this in radically different ways. Whereas Sony has opted for a conservative additive approach to the existing PS4, Microsoft has gone ahead for a full overhaul of the Xbox One. For us as customers and gamers, seeing these two approaches is obviously fascinating, but how do game developers feel about it? When Gaming Bolt had a chance to talk to this guy, his last name is Paz Dur, and he's a creative director for a game called Get Even. This is what he had to say. Personally, I have always been an enthusiast of photorealism and pushing the art fidelity to the limits, so I really enjoy the opportunity to increase the visual quality of our games in the future, but realistically speaking, it's a bit too early to judge what will be the final benchmark for the performance versus quality battle in the future. Which to me, that's a little bit misleading. I mean, developers that, and I know some that I've talked to, are all very high on Scorpio for the fact that it's very easy to develop for. There's no ESRAM in there. It's just x86. It's like super simple. Like, developers really love this. I know that Sony had really taken the early bulk of the generation, and a lot of the developers had jumped on board with that because of the ease of development and things like that. But I'm not sure that in this day and age, with knowing what we know, and I think that this generation, one of the positives that we've had is that us average gamers know a little bit more about tech and what's in the box than ever before. Whereas before, we just got our box, we plugged them in, and we played. Nobody really cared about resolution or anything like that. It wasn't until this generation that we all started to get up to speed on the technology side of things. And now that we know, we can't be bullshitted as much. And that's what these, like, the people like this are trying to do. They're trying to bullshit you. And they're doing a good job of it. The other day on Twitter, I was in, I guess, kind of an argument with somebody who was arguing about the PS4 Pro's capability of doing native 4K. And I said, hey, can you give me a list of native 4K games on the PS4 Pro that are AAA current generation games? And he goes, well, you know, The Division. So you look into it, and I'm looking up native 4K PS4 Pro The Division. And there's a lot of stuff that talks about a 4K. It's in 4K all the time now thanks to a patch. But there's nothing whether that's native or whether that's their checkerboard 4K, and that is a problem. That's a problem. That's going to have to be something that Microsoft figures out how to get over, because whether you just call it checkerboarding or upscaling or whatever, checkerboarding 4K is The second part of this generation is 900p in my opinion. And Microsoft has to find a way to exploit that, and you can't have developers out there pushing this narrative that, well, we have to wait and see, because that's not really a fair shake to Microsoft. When the developers and the media and gamers were pushing 720p, 900p narratives, you didn't hear any of that, you know? So I don't know, it's interesting to me, but you know, why am I not surprised that developers are sticking up for the PS4 Pro? You know, just it's just the way it is, par for the course. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Sound off, rate, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thanks for watching, folks. Rack 'em up. Crapgamer out.